This is it, Juggalos. The last of the freshness. Don't forget to tell your mom you love her. She's just this way at the Dim Carnival.
Welcome back to the Dim Carnival. I'm Bill.
I'm Steve.
And I'm Ryan.
And this week we're talking about the end of Forgotten Freshness Volume 3. The last four tracks. Insane Killers, Confessions.
We're gonna take it home.
Vampiro Gets High, Take Me Home, and the hidden track, which I'm sure is everyone's favorite. But before we talk about those tracks, I just want to give a shout out to my man Fearless Fred Fury, because he hit some charts, guys.
Oh shit!
He arrived on charts. He debuted on the Billboard 200 at number 44. He was number 26 on the U.S. top R&B and hip hop albums. Number 24 on the top rap albums, because that's still a different thing.
Okay.
So I guess there were two more R&B albums this week than rap albums. Number 12 on U.S. digital albums, which is cool. And it debuted at a red hot, steamy, fistful number 2 on both the independent albums and Tastemaker albums charts.
Whoa.
So a little bit lower on the overall 200 and rap albums than they're used to debuting at. Right. But number 2 on independent and Tastemaker is nothing to sneeze at, as is number 12 on digital albums, because that's where most people get their stuff, guys. So,
well, I'd say that's a pretty good report card.
Yeah.
Do we get to go get pizza for that?
Pizza party. The whole class gets a pizza party.
Good job, Juggalos. We all get a pizza party.
Yeah. Woo. I mean,
go to your local Domino's and say Juggalo Pizza Party. Free pizza.
Get punched in the face,
guys. When I was a kid, my favorite pizza place in my neighborhood was called Pizza Chalet, and it was like a themed, it was like a ski lodge or whatever theme place, and they had cashews available as a topping on pizza.
What?
And so we used to get
fancy ass Pizza Chalet.
We used to get pepperoni and cashew pizza, and it was fucking delicious. And I've never seen cashews on a pizza menu anywhere else ever in my entire life. But it's very good.
Look at this little fancy pants Lord Fauntleroy with his cashew pizza at the Pizza Chalet. Yeah. Our best pizza place was called Mountain Mike's, and it was a grizzled prospector serving up piping hot pizza pies with no fancy toppings, right. And Street Fighter 2. Well, shall we dive in to the Insane Killers?
I'm ready for it.
Let's do it.
If you haven't checked out Insane Killers, go ahead and take a listen right now.
Yeah, I kill myself if I can only survive. I tried to kill Rob Van Winkle, in fact, that's how we met. I went up to kill him when he was thinking the same shit. I pulled out a chainsaw, he pulled out an axe. I was like, come on! Wait, is that a Stanley? Where'd you get that?
Guys, this one's from Uganda to your mama. Or, if you are to believe, it's New Gandhi to your mama.
It's you never been to New Gandhi?
Yeah. Shout out to Kamala.
You should turn left at Albuquerque.
Guys,
this song was recorded for a Vanilla Ice record. Did you know that?
Sure was. Yeah.
It was recorded for Vanilla Ice's album Bipolar. Actually, at this time in this era, he was going by V Ice, apparently, which he does actually mention in his verse. Calls himself V Ice. Vice.
V-I-C-E? That's V-Icy.
Right.
It's vanilla flavored icy. It's just
He's very icy. Vanilla flavored ice.
So this this is what so the Forgotten Freshness liner notes for this song are not very cool. Got some homophobic language and the R word.
Nice.
So, yeah, it's just
double
a double
whammy.
Yeah, got them all. But they basically talking about how he was a teen idol superstar who sold 10 million albums, and then he gave it all up because it was just an act. And I think they're being a little bit generous here that he like took it upon himself to give up all the fame. Like I don't think that was necessarily, but they said Vanilla Ice smartened himself up and traded it all in so he could continue his career and finally keep it real. He didn't wear record label glitter shit anymore. Now he rocks small clubs and creates violent mosh pits through his own brand of hardcore rock/rap music. ICP was more than honored to do a track with Vanilla Ice when he called. You're motherfucking right, we'll do it, they said. The funniest thing is that Vanilla Ice once again is sitting on top of the world and has millions of friends in the business. Just know his friends ain't Hollywood stars and bullshit big shots like before. Now he has friends like Violent J and Shaggy, the underground world of hardcore music.
And also don't forget when he was on VH1's what was that name of that show? Like
Real Life?
Yeah, like where these like B-level celebrities were in a home together, and the episode that the season he was on, he was in the house with Omarosa and Ron Jeremy and Tammy Faye Baker, and he wore an ICP shirt like every episode, or pretty close to it. It was always like one of the Joker's cards, and I thought it was the funniest thing. And when I was watching that. I think it was called The Surreal Life. That was the name of the VH1 show.
That's what I said.
Yeah, and like and by the time I was watching that, this song already existed, and I just thought it was the greatest thing. He's so hardcore.
That was a great show.
So this
That
song,
was a great show.
this track has Violet J, Vanilla Ice, and then Law the Dark Man has the third verse. I don't really know much about Law the Dark Man.
I know a little bit about Law the Dark Man.
Do you? Tell us.
Well, he's a Wu-Tang affiliate, so he came up with the Wu-Tang crew. That's as much as I know about it.
No.
Yeah.
But he was like C Squad, right?
I mean, so he came up like right after what was that one? So Wu-Tang Clan obviously was Wu-Tang Clan. And then they started to kind of cultivate some other artists underneath them. And I can't remember the name of that one group. There was like several guys together. Shit, it's really going to bother me.
Drew Hill.
No, rap group. Anyways, so they had that group. And then I think Law the Dark Man was probably the next guy after that. And this is when I was kind of getting out of rap music. So it tapered off for me after Wu-Tang Forever. And I turned my back on rap music. But yeah, so he's a Wu-Tang guy.
What?
Like not part of Wu-Tang, but part of the Wu-Tang.
What lame lyric censor happened to him?
Ooh,
yeah, that's the worst possible lyric.
Okay, wait, we'll get to that. So,
yeah,
okay.
Violent J starts and he does like the intro or whatever. Then his first verse, it comes in and it's just your regular Violent J, right? It's doing his thing.
Yeah,
normal stuff.
Right, and I think it's good. It's totally fine.
Yeah, it's good.
He's really, guys. I'm really starting to think that he's haunted by this syphilis stuff.
Well, he got it several times, and so maybe it's just each time he mentions it, it's because it's new. But and so I like Violent J's verse, and I like the song up to this point, and I like the chorus too. So they're sampling Natural Born Killers, Dr. Dre and Ice Cube. Is the main sample there, and I think that's actually Ice Cube who's saying "icky icky ya ya" in the chorus. So I think the chorus sounds badass. The production of the music
chorus is tremendous.
Yeah, and I think that there's no credit, but the sample, I think "I'm Not Fucking Around" to me that sounds like "Be Real" from Cypress Hill. I can't remember where that if I've heard that before, but it sounds familiar to me. But then Vanilla Ice starts his verse. And it's like, oh God, this is, I'm sorry, dude. This is really bad. I feel like this is like one of the worst verses and least pleasant to listen to of any verse that we've listened to. Like, definitely. This is the worst.
You're damn right it's a Stanley.
Oh, that fucking bothers me so much.
Stanley axe that I use to chop down people.
Oh, he says he pulled out an axe. Oh,
yeah.
That makes more sense. All right, so I do like that he calls back to Violent J's verse. Like, I like that, but I like the sentiment of it more than anything that's happening with Vanilla Ice here.
It just sounds so bad.
Hey guys, did you know that ice mixed with blood is the killer's milkshake?
Right.
Oh, I heard that from this song.
I also gotta say that okay. He says the line that he's the last survivor with a mouthful of cockroaches, and in the background is a crunching sound.
Yeah, but the good thing is that it goes on for like 3 lines.
It continues on, right? It doesn't stop. He's just chewing away. Well, it's a mouthful.
Which in theory, that's very funny. Like if that was Shaggy 2 Dope, it would be very funny.
Yes. Okay.
If it kept it being Shaggy.
I'll give you that. Here, it's just one of the worst, most unpleasant things to listen to.
You're just prejudiced against Vanilla Ice.
I don't know.
Bad.
I've never. Well, if the dude ever did anything good, then
Hey, what about?
I'd give him props.
His cover play that funky music.
You know what? As an artist, I am not a fan, but. Again, going back to the Surreal Life, he seemed like a pretty decent fellow on that show.
I'm sure he's decent. I think I watched half an episode of his home renovation show.
I bet Vanilla Ice is like chill as hell to hang out with.
Yeah,
but,
and actually,
but again, going back to this,
Cool as Ice is one of the first albums that I ever bought.
Yeah,
I bought it on tape.
He was the coolest thing. Like he was like legitimately like the height of like what was hip and
dude, that
rad.
fucking pompadour and his fucking parachute pants.
He had his eyebrow shaved.
Oh my god, so cool.
He had zigzags on the side of his
He
head.
had African American people in his video, and they made it look like they knew him.
But again, going back to this, this very charitable reading of Vanilla Ice's career that Insane Clown Posse puts forward, like I think his verse on this song is pretty clear evidence about like I don't think he was like I'm gonna give it all away and be true to myself.
I think what I thought of when I listened to this is that Vanilla Ice has been listening to Mars and thinking, I could do that. That sounds, he makes it look easy. And then he sits down and writes and it comes out real clunky and bad.
Oh my god, I had to mute myself. I was laughing and coughing so hard.
But then we get into Law of the Dark Man's verse, and it's okay. I'm not a huge Law of the Dark Man fan.
I just don't understand what was happening. Every time I listened to this, I heard him say he was from Brooklyn, had no idea who this was, and then he starts saying like "fucking with the Klan," and I was like, "Wait, is this a white dude?" And I was like, and in my head, I was like, "Of course, ICP would never like release a song that had a white rapper being like cool with the Klan and had to like." Bleep out their lyrics because it was so racist.
Yeah.
So, like, I had to keep reminding myself, that's not what's happening here, but because I have no idea who this is, that's all that ever happens in my head.
Yeah. Well,
and I'm sorry.
And so that's what I was confused about. I didn't read the... Well, I didn't read the liner notes, so... it was through my research that I found, well, it didn't take a lot, I just looked up the fucking song. Found out that it was on Vanilla Ice's album. And that's when it clicked. I was like, oh, okay, they don't censor. I listened to the track from the album, and they don't censor that line. Vanilla Ice or his record label, whoever, they didn't care. But ICP did not want
record label.
I don't know. I don't know who makes that decision. Like,
so what is it?
No, I was just laughing. I was just laughing at the idea that Vanilla Ice put this album out on a record label.
Right. Well, I don't know. Yeah.
Please tell me what it says. I'm dying.
Oh, it just says the N-word. We kill N-words like Well, just says that. I don't
know.
Well, so
I don't want to say the whole
says,
thing. It's just.
Well, yeah, okay.
I already felt bad just saying it out loud.
Well, first, before you then just tell me the context of why it's being said. I mean, is this an African American person like imitating the Ku Klux Klan and like why they're going to kill this person because they say this type of stuff? Like, what's happening here? I don't understand.
No, he's saying don't fuck with Wu-Tang Clan.
The Klan.
Don't fuck with my Wu-Tang Clan, my clan of people.
So because I had no idea it had anything to do with the Wu-Tang Clan. When he said don't fuck with the Klan, I automatically thought he meant Ku Klux Klan.
Yeah, if you don't know he's affiliated with the Wu-Tang Clan, the only clan people are aware of is the bad one.
Yeah. So, I feel so stupid. Okay.
Yeah, no, he's saying I'm part of this clan, but like this other clan, we're gonna kill people.
Right. Because the line that he says is we kill inwards like the KKK. That's the line he says, which is the worst lyric you can possibly have on an ICP-related track.
Yeah.
And that's why they just straight up have like lame lyric content or whatever.
He goes lame lyric censor.
Lame lyric censor.
Which is a pretty decent shot at Law the Dark Man, who they not only made a track with, but put on their compilation album.
I know.
But I mean, at the same time, like ICP have a long history of telling each other that their lyrics are whack.
Yeah. But again, this is the same era as that video that we were talking about where he checks himself for making a homophobic statement or a homophobic phrase. They're starting to, I think we're on a burgeoning wokeness of ICP, I'm hoping. Uh-huh. I mean, we just listened to their last record, so I know they're still problematic, but...
Yeah. But basically our point is that the song starts strong with the Violent J verse and then falls off a series of consecutive cliffs. Much like Homer trying to leap the gorge.
I mean, there's just a real palpable quality difference between the first and third verses and the second.
Yeah.
Two guys who are rappers and then another person who's on the track saying words.
And between the chorus and the rest of the song, too.
Yes. Yeah, the production of the track, the way it's all structured and all of that is very clean. I think it sounds really good. I think it's... Yeah. I think it's a great song, actually, for what it is. Like, how
it's very way fun. Better than it should be. Yes, for sure.
It's very fun to say the chorus, to sing it along. Mass murderer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is pretty fun.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Sure.
Well, shall we move on to the next song?
Please.
All right. The next song is Confessions, and I'm sure we got a lot to say about this one. So if you haven't taken a listen, good to listen right now.
Look at you, a big until you're growing old. You're growing bold with a soul that's freezing cold. So I confess, but even if I'm all wrong, I'll be down with the clown till I'm dead and gone.
Well, I haven't heard this song.
This is my confession.
Just when I thought I said all I could say. A chick on the
I want to take this time. My main note from a song called Confessions is that the first time Ryan and I listened to Confessions Part 2 off of Weird Al's Straight Out of a Linwood album, Weird Al said, "Threw up on your dog the last time I had too much to drink." Cause and he says it like a minute and a half into the song, and like the song had been playing in like total silence. Like Ryan and I were just like listening to it. Like I'm not really sure about this song so far. Like we were both respectively singing that, and then he said, "Threw up on your dog last time I had too much to drink," and we both laughed the rest of the way home. Just that one line, and it immediately became a very special memory of mine. That's all. That's my takeaway from this song called Confessions by Insane Clown Posse.
Which, according to Genius.com, is on the album The Great Malenko.
Uh-huh. I mean, why not? Well, no, it is. Oh, wait, no. It might be on one of the special editions, but it doesn't have a number next to the track listing on Genius, so I think it's just incorrect.
That's funny. But my note reminds me of a song that would be on Tunnel of Love or Terror Wheel. That's like my only note.
Well, there's a great reason for that, Steve.
I had a feeling that you were going to say that when I said that.
The first time fans heard this song was when it came out on the sampler or the single with the Pendulum number 8. So this is I think this is basically our first Pendulum song. So this came out on every issue of the Pendulum came with a CD that had one song on it, and this was the one with issue number 8. And from the liner notes, thanks to Hatchet History and our friend Jiggles, it was indeed on the 20th anniversary edition of Great Malenko. So Genius got it partially correct. And on the liner notes, it says, we guess ICP and Mikey Clark made this song sometime way back in 1996, but we're not sure. Neither are they. They don't even remember why they originally made the song. In fact, they don't even remember making the fucking song. They forgot it even existed. Apparently it is ICP, though. Maybe they made the song one night while they were all sleepwalking. Who the fuck knows? The bottom line is this. While Mikey Clark was digging through his old shit, he found an old DAT, dusted it off, and it had confessions on it. He gave it to us, we listened to it, we liked it, and even though ICP and Clark don't know where it came from or even remember making it, it is a good song. Finally, this treasure has been found and it has a place. Final Freshness 3 is home to yet another unexplainable, ultra-rare, mysterious ICP song from the beyond. They don't know why they made it, but they think they probably made it in 96.
Wow. That's cool. I did want to jump in and say that this is the third and final Pendulum comic book track that's on this album. The first two were Run and Superstar.
Oh, hey. So I was way off.
Well, I only know that because of Wikipedia. So,
but to be fair, we only know most things because of Wikipedia.
Right, that's true. So yeah, this song is okay. In the first one, the first verse, he's talking about being a victim of his environment, right? So that's like a common ICP song topic. But I was curious about the line where he said, so he's like doing a literal confession, like a Catholic confession. I wasn't sure if you guys had thoughts about what is he talking about, like society? Is he talking about the ghetto? Is he talking about jail?
I think like all of the above, basically.
Yeah, I feel like it was like a catch-all.
Yeah. Yes.
Can you guys tell me what the words to this chorus are?
Nope.
I cannot.
Can't be.
Yes, I confess some layers.
Well, you know, like the way I kept
that was
hearing
perfect.
It, yeah,
Those
I know.
lyrics.
Like I felt like they were gonna say because less rhymes with could care. The way they're saying it, I thought they were gonna say I could care less or couldn't care less, and they were saying it wrong, and I just was like, oh, did they like go back and change it for grammatical reasons? And I was like, of course not. Don't be an idiot. That's not why they did that. So I was really confused.
I think they were saying, yes, I confess. But that's about all I can figure out.
Well, it's not listed anywhere like on any of the lyric sites. There's nowhere that has the lyrics. Right.
They just say, yes, I confess. I'm not.
And then I thought they were saying I could care less is what I thought they were saying. But then at the last second, instead of saying care less, they're like, he was just like, care. Yeah.
Fires. Woo. So I guess it makes sense that they don't remember because there's not really the song's not really about anything. The first verse is like just him saying he's a product of the environment. The second one is like the telltale heart with a lady's purse.
Yeah, he just feels bad for stealing from a lady that was poor.
I like the my favorite part of the song is I picked it up and stuck my fucking hand in it. It was full of rats. It fucking bit it off.
Yeah, that was great.
But like to me, what I like about I like that like the end of both of the verses, he's just like, well, but I'm down with the clown.
Yeah, like no matter what, it's like, well, at least these guys are assholes.
I'll just take my one hand and I'll be over there. But yeah, like to me, this is just basically like any song that would like be in the second half of like any of the first like 3 or 4 Joker's cards. Like, just like we need another one.
Well, and I think we may have talked about this. I don't remember how much I talked about this, but the homie Rob sent us an email a couple weeks ago, and he was talking about one of the tracks on this and talking about how one of the things that Jay does is he'll be in the studio and they'll be putting a song together, and he'll just lay down a scratch track of vocals. Like, he'll just say dumb shit or whatever. It doesn't matter, just to kind of like communicate a little bit of like what the tone is going to be like. And then they'll later go back in the studio with the other people who are going to be on the track or whatever, and they'll all work it out and figure it out. And that's how, I guess, there are multiple recordings using the same beat with different songs on them. And so maybe that's what this is, you know, that if they're just fucking around in the studio to put stuff together, he just gets up and writes a verse and says a thing, but like he doesn't remember because it doesn't have anything to do with anything.
But it seems way too, like, done for that. Like, it has a full chorus. Like, like, there's nothing really exceptional about any of his verses, but like, there's nothing bad. Like, I feel it was just like, what probably happened was they probably made it for Malenko or Riddlebox, and they got down to like selecting the final tracks for the album, and they were like, there's just not enough to this one. Like, it doesn't belong on a Joker's card.
It's better than Underneath the Moon. That's all I can say.
Yeah, like, it's like it's like, this is like I think this is like maybe the replacement level ICP song. Like, when you're evaluating baseball players, like, you evaluate them by like wins above replacement player. So like, the formula assumes that there is an average. Like, there is a baseball player who is, his value is 0. So he is the, like, he is the epitome of like, that's a baseball player. Like, this guy's better than like that other guy's better than this guy. So that other guy's probably better to play in this spot than this guy. But like, a 0 WAR value is just like, he's not going to be worth any more wins to your team than if you didn't have him. And he's not going to cost your team wins if you play him. Like,
he's just going to play baseball.
Yeah, his net value is 0, but
can you give me an example of
better than having a negative value
of a player we might recognize who might fall in that category? I'd find
it 2/3 of the Giants.
That's the thing. That's the thing is, if you recognize a player, he doesn't have a 0 WAR value.
Yeah.
Like, if you're familiar with his name, he's worth something.
I guess maybe, yeah, not somebody that, right. I guess I really wasn't thinking that it would be somebody that I had heard of. I don't know why I said it that way, but yeah. Do you know, is there like an example that people talk about in like sports writing or whatever?
Babe Ruth.
Yeah. It's Babe Ruth. It's not Babe Ruth.
Hot dogs and beers.
It's going to be like George Templeton.
It's a good baseball name.
Raleigh Toes.
That's great.
Sounds like an ICP character.
Oh, here we go. Juan Rivera. We're 0.1 WAR because if you're familiar with Juan Rivera, he had the worst base running in the history of the game. I think so.
But the highest on base.
Yeah, it was Juan Rivera. He played for the Giants, and if you just Google worst base running in the history of the game,
so bad.
It's a really, really good. It's like an all-timer great clip. It's just fantastic. So that's an example of a replacement level player. And I only know his name because he fucked up super bad one time, and he played for my favorite team. So. Yeah, so, but anyway, my point is that Confessions is like the perfect, like, if you need an ICP song and you don't have one, you can drop Confessions. Like, if you don't need a good one, you don't need a bad one, you just need one to fill a slot. This is it. That's too much baseball, so.
Vampiro.
Are we moving on?
Yeah,
Wait, but do you guys agree with me that this is just like, you can swap out this song with any ICP song?
Well, I said it was on. I thought it could have been on Tunnel of Love or Terror Wheel. I think that implies that I agree with you.
That is true.
Hear me
Tunnel
say
of Love,
yes.
Tunnel of Love and Terror Wheel are in fact Sideshow albums where any of those songs can be dropped in for any other song at any time.
Replacement level EPs.
You were right.
Yeah, I think actually that's an excellent call, Steve. I feel like this would go great on Tunnel of Love.
Absolutely. Except as there's no.
Yes, I confess.
There's no. There's no my legs don't been back so far.
Right, they probably would have thrown some of that in.
Maybe better on Terror Wheel.
It is though. I will say it kind of fits in with the Great Milenko era, where it ends up being like a House of Wonders kind of thing or whatever, where they're,
yes.
it ends up that the subject that he's talking to the whole time is the one who's actually going to get laughed at or whatever.
It's just me staring at my own reflection.
Vampiro.
I love on Genius it says chorus and then in parentheses repeats until song ends. Like a lot of ICP songs.
Alright guys, I think it's finally time to find out what happens when Vampiro gets high. So if you haven't listened, go ahead and take a listen right now.
Child of the rancid, wretched darkness, Vampiro. I truly am a juggalotus, maniac killer, super unknown hero.
Vampiro.
Yeah, a true hat.
Well, this is great, obviously. This is not a song, but it is wonderful. The name is Vampiro.
Go.
Go.
Dude,
this is great. It's Vampiro high as shit trying to do an introduction to the Twisted track that this eventually portions of this wind up on, and Violet J screaming directions at him. It's Maniac Killa off of Freak Show, and kudos to them for the finished product intro sounding great, sounding coherent and just one straight take, because clearly that's not what happened.
I don't know, man. It sounds like one straight take to me.
No, but they chop it up, they edit it so that it's not him fucking up a bunch of times. It is clearly one take, but they edited it. Good job.
Mono monoxide.
Okay, so that's one thing. He says Jamie Monoxide. I feel like he's just getting through it. And
I thought he's saying Jamie and Monoxide.
Right, Jamie and Monoxide. But but then Violent J's oh no, you fucked
Jamie
up.
Mandrox.
Yeah,
Jamie Mandrox.
He corrects him.
Oh fuck, okay.
He's like, he knows.
But then he says that's that dude from Twisted.
Right, because I don't think he understands that Violent J's correcting him.
Right.
He just hears him say Jamie Mandrox, and he's like, oh fuck, why are you talking?
And then he's trying to say Blaze, and then Jay cuts him off again and says Monoxide.
Yeah, Monoxide. Because Jay thinks he hasn't said Monoxide Child. Right. Because he said Jamie Monoxide. He wants to make sure he gives him appropriate credit. This is already the best discussion that we've ever had on this podcast.
I like how quickly Jay is put off by him saying Fago off a Juggalo's dick.
Body.
Very uncomfortable with that.
he starts just doing the stabbing sound a bunch of times. And
that's one of my favorite parts when they're killing, murdering, hacking.
And then so Vampiro is clearly fixated on dicks because he says Fago off of Juggalo's dick, and then Jay's doing his stabbing sound. He's like, and maybe lighting your fucking dick on fire. Woo! And then he says,
the greatest line.
Big dick.
Oh. I thought, sorry. Yeah. No. All hail the Lotus Pod. From hence we came.
In your ribs.
In your ribs.
In my nuts.
He's priming him to say in your ribs, and he won't even say it.
Yeah, okay, he says it again. In your ribs.
It's so great. I can't say this is the best song on the album, but I love it more than I do any of the other ones.
But Jay finally plays around with them at the end.
I love that Violent J finally gives in and he's like, we're gonna close this record out. I just gotta go with it.
All right, that's right.
Yeah. Your big dick.
So, he says it so. He's like so mad. Oh, he's so upset that he's saying it. Your big dick.
My big dick.
Fucker.
This is magic. Magic.
Don't look at me. Look at the mic.
Right.
He says, "Look at me. Don't look at the mic." And he's like, "Wait, don't look at me. Look at the mic."
This is the opposite of what he's doing. But like, I love that his childlike. I truly am a jug of lotus. And also, like, when he goes like maniac killer, super unknown hero, and then Jay goes
Vampiro,
and he goes, yeah.
That's what he's saying, man. Like, he's feeling it.
Also, he says, long reign the Lotus Killers. Then again, it's privilege to powerbomb your fucking ass on a bed of butcher knives. Woo!
God, guys, open up the Pandora's box.
Oh yeah, he says, open the Pandora's box, bitch.
Where there's only singular 6 things.
Yeah, I never knew that the singular of box was Bach.
And that Pandora's box was limited to only 6 things.
Vampiro, a Canadian kid who became one of Mexico's biggest pro wrestling stars. You can hear some of his childlike glee. Like, you can hear basically everything that encapsulates who Vampiro is in this track, because, like, if you listen, because he's color commentary on the 4 seasons of Lucha Underground, he still occasionally wrestles. You can hear him do commentary and do other stuff for AAA. I think he's still one of the main bookers, if not the head booker for AAA currently. So he just has been involved in pro wrestling this entire time since he was like a teen. He was in Canada. He was a skinny kid who wanted to be a pro wrestler, was a goth kid, went down to Mexico, got trained, was hanging around the wrestling shows. And back then in the 90s, people were, in the 90s, there was like this big thing. I mean, it still persists to some level today, but Lucha Libre, like true Lucha Libre in Mexico, is pretty different from wrestling that you will see here. It's a huge deal, but it's also like there's not really bumps. It's mostly like rolling and tumbling, and they have like like wrestling in North America like used to also be like really fixated on like looks, and it still is to a certain degree, but like face looks. So like especially in the 90s in Lucha Libre, like the promoters would like go recruit like jack dudes out of like strip clubs and like bodybuilders and like just models and like telenovela actors. And like if you were super handsome and had like any sort of a body, they wanted you to be a wrestler. So like they saw this kid hanging out outside the shows, and like they saw this white kid hanging out outside the shows, and like all these girls were like super into like the goth vibe that he was putting out. He's like this skinny, like, you know, Boris E or like Scott Weiland looking motherfucker, and like all the girls are like, ooh, I like this guy. And so they're like,
Boris
all right,
Karloff.
Yes, exactly like Boris Karloff. You know how live and how hip Boris Karloff was. So they got him in, and he started doing this Canadian vampire gimmick, and they started painting his face white and grew his hair long, and he was broody and started wrestling, and he just became an absolute sensation. And in short order, he was wrestling like 11 times a week all over Mexico, and just like fucking doing all sorts of drugs and just everywhere, like doing talk shows and wrestling all the time, and was like one of the very, very big tippy top guys. And like at the time, like him and Conan were like the two biggest dudes in all of Mexico in pro wrestling, and they hated each other's guts. And basically, like, they were both up for a role on a soap opera, and one of them got it and the other one didn't, and that like really led to like legit bad blood for like 20 years or so.
Who got what? Who won?
Let me check. The feud stems from Vampiro being offered a part in a Mexican soap opera, but then the producers changing their mind at the last minute when they learned that his command of the Spanish language was poor and went with Conan instead. Vampiro considered that Conan had sabotaged his chance to play his ring success into mainstream stardom, as Conan did become a mainstream star in Mexico as a result of the role. They resolved their differences when they finally worked with in WCW, but still that beef will come up from time to time, even to this very day. But Vampiro, you know, after being a huge star in Mexico, got signed to WCW like everybody else did in the late 90s, and did the stuff with ICP that we talked about. He did stuff with the Misfits, and then he did not get signed. He was not one of the people who got bought out by WWE. So he like played out his contract and then went back to Mexico and did other stuff. In the 2000s, he changed his gimmick up to being, he actually started a chapter of the Guardian Angels in Mexico. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Guardian Angels.
I think he's still the president or whatever of the Guardian Angels of Mexico City.
Isn't that like a group of good people that go out and patrol
vigilantes?
The streets? Vigilantes.
It's vigilantes who wear berets and satin jackets.
But they're good. Well, are they good guys? Do they do fucked up stuff? I just assumed they were good guys. I remember seeing them on. Current events when Bill O'Reilly was doing that show.
I mean, I'm sure that there's members
do it live.
I'm sure there's members of their. I'm sure there's members of their network that like do dumb shit, but like they're ostensibly a force for good. But they are vigilantes. So I mean, like I don't necessarily oppose vigilantism. So
yeah.
But anyway, that was
Batman to save us.
He founded the Mexico City chapter of the Guardian Angels, and then that became his gimmick. And he would like come to the ring and his Guardian Angels get up. So yeah, that was his thing for a while. But then when he got involved with Lucha Underground, like if you watch Lucha Underground, which you can see several seasons on Netflix, you can hear like when he does color commentary, he's just a big dumb bro who's like constantly full of like glee, and like he just genuinely like loves and enjoys this. Like he says some pretty fucked up stuff from time to time, and he gets a little like ogly and whatnot, but like you can just sense his like genuine love of like everything that's going on, and he has like a childlike glee about everything that he sees, except when something goes wrong and then he gets super pissed off. So but that's Vampiro, and this is what happens when Vampiro gets high. I'm glad you could join us for my TED Talk.
It's the best ICP track in all of times. It's the one I've laughed the hardest about, probably.
Yeah. It's tremendous.
I love their chemistry. I'm gonna put it that way. These two dudes have a great dynamic on this track, and it just really brings this ridiculous stuff that he's saying to, a stellar level. Amazing.
What I want to do is I want to take this track and either have this be the intro to it or have the other thing be an intro to this, where I want to take the stab you with the umbrella and then open it, like take that, like Shaggy yelling at Violent J and drop, like somehow mix that into this.
It's like a rock, paper, scissors. Maybe we can find Vampiro yelling at Shaggy.
Hell yeah.
No.
I listened to that track the other day again.
Yeah,
the beginning of it is very, very good.
All right. Shall we move on to the last couple of tracks here?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we are going to wrap up the Forgotten Freshness Volume 3 with Take Me Home, which has a hidden song, Family, at the end of it. So if you haven't listened to that, it's long, but take a listen right now.
And pollution strong, and the Vega always warm and flat.
But if nowadays supposed to be heaven for me, then just give me my old hell back.
So take me home, Detroit.
And it's not that long in the grand
like
scheme
8 minutes.
The grand scheme of final tracks. It's not like Crystal Ball or it's not 20 minutes. guys, I don't know if you're aware of the irony of life.
It's the great irony in life, Bill, that when you achieve all of your dreams, all you think about is how you were broke and wish for being broke again.
So much like Cartoon Nightmares, where they wanted to see what Mike P was made of, Mike Pual, they wrote this track specifically for Forgotten Freshness Volume 3. They needed a closer, so they wrote one. And I love this song, guys. I really, really like this song.
I do too.
The guitar is so sensual.
It's a bad song. Their raps are not good. Like, there's like this sense of like, I'm supposed to feel sorry for you kind of thing. But
I don't think you're supposed to feel sorry for them.
No. Yes. Like, okay. Oh man, I did everything I ever wanted to do and I'm not happy. I wish I was poor and had no food. Like, that's like kind of my takeaway from this song a little bit.
I would, what I got out of it, like the read I have on it is like, oh, I remember all the hard times and I'm happy that I'm where I'm at now, but nothing is ever going to make me as happy as just like chilling at home. Like, that's what I got out of it. Not like I'm so miserable, I wish I could go back to when I was starving. Just like, oh, like things used to be really simple. Like when I thought stuff was like, when stuff sucked, it was also just simple, but like I'm happy, but like I still think I can now look back on those old times fondly.
Right. I think it's more of just like a fond nostalgia of like a simpler time in their life. Mm-hmm. And I think that when he's saying "Take Me Home," I think it's just meaning like emotionally, like just kind of feel something about that time. But I agree with you, Steve, that initially the way with that whole like the great irony in life or whatever, I think that starts with a pretty bad taste.
I never took away from this song what you guys just said. Every time I've ever listened to this song, which I've listened to a bunch of times back in the day and a few times this time, like, I don't know, like, it just, every single time I listen to it, I feel like they just sound like they're unhappy and like, I don't know, it almost reminds me of they're like, I would like to start this video game over with starting from zero and knowing that I'll succeed again so I can just like remember what it's like to sucky. Like,
well, they are fucking scrubs, so I think that's actually kind of part of it. When they're saying their empty refrigerator, first of all, is this Sugar Slam that's singing this line? Because it sounds like Sugar Slam to me.
Probably.
I was curious whether it was Deba Goli because she's been on so many of their tracks.
It doesn't sound like her.
It doesn't sound like her to me, and also, if it were her, I feel like it would be noted somewhere. It's not noted anywhere. I know Sugar Slam has said in interviews and stuff that she's sung on a lot of ICP tracks. And so who even knows? I don't know that she's gotten credit for any of them. But it just really sounds like her to me. But I think she's saying, she's basically saying that we were poor, but I knew everything made sense. Like, I understood the world, and now, it is a kind of like oh, woe is me, I'm rich, more money, more problems, or whatever. Mm-hmm. Which I just don't think is like a great look. But I do ultimately take away more of like the nostalgia feeling, like I was saying.
Yeah, like I feel like the music evokes a very good, like just the music is very evocative of like nostalgia and wistfulness. So
that's Southern rock. The first note that I wrote is Mike P is too talented. Like he plays the shit out of the guitar on this track. He plays the hell out of it. And
I'm looking forward to hearing him play guitar all over the Zug Island album.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get out there?
No. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm just still super offended that you guys don't see it my way. I'm kidding. I'm super kidding. Because I had notes on the next song based on it.
I like Jay's verse when he talks about how they would have to like collect bottles to go try to catch a music show downtown. Right. And in order to get back, they'd have to like walk around and look for bottles to exchange for money so they could get on the bus.
Right.
Yeah, and then they were like passing out their flyers, and they thought they were the shit. Yeah, that was really cool. I mean, we've all done that, right?
Yeah.
It's a good feeling.
Like it's such a good feeling when you're like, oh, we've got flyers, we're gonna give them to people, and you feel so good until you get to the show and it's just you and the other bands.
And it's funny too. Like you're at another show passing out flyers to a show that's not that show, and you're like, oh, this is cool, but this is gonna be so much better. There's like some kind of like dickness to it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's not exactly like your intention when you're doing that, but like you're just like you're so excited to share, you know. Yeah. You're just like, oh, this is cool, but like we're really awesome too.
Yeah. Shaggy says, just like Jay said in Ghetto Zone, I stole a car with my tape inside. Yeah. That's a cool line. I don't think Jay says that in Ghetto Zone.
I don't remember that line or that lyric
almost
either.
Positive, because I went to the Ghetto Zone lyrics page and like I did some Control Fs for like Shaggy, car, tape, like nothing. So
that's a pretty rad line, and that's a really hilarious and sad thing to think about, you know.
Yeah.
But they do talk about it in a song way back in the day. Yeah. About stealing the car. I don't know what
maybe
song.
Maybe it's on like Ghetto Zone EP or something. Like I don't know. But I mean, like, what a feeling that must have been for him. Like he jacks this car, and then he's like, "Oh shit, my tape's in here."
That's like on Coolio's album. He has a song about going to pick up his welfare check or whatever, or go, I don't know, get him unemployment, and they're like, "Aren't you that guy Coolio?" And he's like, "Yeah, man, but I don't have a job." Like ODB did the same thing. He was collecting, you know, he didn't have a job.
Album cover, man.
Yeah.
So she says, the Genius lyrics shockingly are wrong, but she says, it says, "Take me home to my empty refrigerator. Take me home to hanging out on the church steps," is what I think she pretty clearly says.
Yes, I agree.
And then I think she says, "Take me home to my old school brown Volare." Is that what she's saying?
It's definitely to my old school, and then couldn't tell you what comes after that.
A car? Like I think a Volare is like it said. Like I'm looking at this shit right now. It says that the Dodge Aspen was. Oh no! So the Dodge Aspen was the Dodge version of the Plymouth Volare. Like they were produced at the same time.
Old school Dodge Volare.
Yeah. Or to my old school brown Volare, I think she's saying.
Old school brown Volare.
Yeah. I think that's what she's saying. But she's definitely not saying to my old school down in Delray.
Yeah,
which is
not.
What Genius says she's saying. And I have submitted new lyrics for these, but I don't know why they're not getting approved, because mine are right. All right, so we like the song and Steve doesn't. Cool.
I didn't say I didn't like it. I just said.
Do you think they made this song to fuck with Kid Rock?
No.
To be like, we're gonna make us, because especially when it gets down to that wangling guitar, it really sounds like it just fits right in with like a 2001 Kid Rock song to me.
Yeah, I mean, like, maybe, I don't know if there's, like, to fuck with him more than just, like, oh, hey, like, it might have even been, like, we kind of dig what he's bringing to this song. So,
or it could be whatever you do, I can do better.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I'm saying.
For sure.
But I agree that I don't think that that's really what they were doing, but I do think that they were definitely wanting to put Mike P out there and be like, dude, just fucking wail. Like, we want you to shred.
I think it might have been as simple as, like, because whatever song that, because, like, Kid Rock had, like, 4 or 5 singles that sort of had this sound all at the same time. And I think that maybe, like, one of them, they were like, oh, you know how, like, this one Kid Rock song, like, it sort of, like, sounds kind of wistful in the southern rockiness? Like, what if we had something that was like that? Because, like, they were trying to go for a mood, and I think that they nailed it. So they just pointed to, like, that. I do like the end, like, the last verse, where he's talking about, like, he gets his girlfriend's car, and so he's got his car until his girlfriend gets off work until 2, but he's hanging out with all his friends until 4:30, and he still has to drop them off. I like that. It's just a cool, like, it's such a specific, like, this is a memory I have, and, like, you know, like, man, guys, remember when we used to be young enough to, like, go out late at night and just drive around and fuck around. That shit was crazy.
Well, no, I think the last verse is he's back in his regular life, right? He's hanging out with his friends and he's saying, looking back in my mind, I realized the key to my happy life is actually here with what I have.
But it's still a very funny, specific thing.
Oh, absolutely. I love it. And especially the way that he's singing it. You know, I picture it's 2 a.m. He has to swing by his home or whatever. Cause she gets off work, so he like picks her up at work, and I picture he's like walk up to the door, he's like, "Hey, what's up, babe?" And he's like kind of sad or whatever, a little morose, and she's like, "What's going on?" And she looks over his shoulder, and there's the car full of all of his homies, you know, and she's like,
the wagon
again,
the Electric Mayhem bus.
Yes.
Why would she be home if he was picking her up from work? And why is she having to work till 2 a.m.?
Yeah, what the fuck, Ryan?
No, she gets off work. He goes to pick her up, but he's 2.5 hours late.
Yeah,
picking her up.
Why is she having to work till 2 a.m. if they're rich?
She works a Hollywood Video.
I don't know. It's her fucking job, man.
Yeah, do you want her to have a job? What the fuck, Steve?
I'm just saying.
I'm guessing she's a stripper or a bartender.
She definitely works a Hollywood Video. For sure.
I guess I just assumed that was like back when he was still poor.
She owns a bar. She's a proprietress.
Oh. Does it say that in the song?
Entrepreneur. It says, I'm looking at the shit right now. It says she owns a bar. It says, my girlfriend's an entrepreneur. She went on Shark Tank, and they helped her start a bar up. She partnered with
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. She's a real success story.
That wasn't in my YouTube version.
What's up, everybody? Hi, guys.
Yeah, Hidden Track.
Family.
Are you guys wondering how we like to do things around here?
Yeah, I was. Well, we like to do them with family.
What up, everybody? I'm chilling here with Samantha.
Hi, guys.
And I bet you wonder how we like to do things around here. Well, we like to do them with family.
We're family. Family. Every one of us is family. What would life be without family? We're family.
So this is a Hidden Track where Jump Steady and Jay and Samantha and Mama Jay and Jump Steady's wife and Nancy, who is Violent J's sister. Wait, no. Is it Nancy?
Nancy's the mom.
Nancy's the mom. Chris is Violent J's sister. So, yeah, they all rap. They all take some raps that were definitely not written by Violent J.
Yeah, no, I'm sure.
I think Jay probably wrote his mom's rap and possibly his sister's rap.
Right, and Jump Steady wrote the other ones probably. Well, I don't know. Nancy might have wrote her own. She does the booty shake.
Samantha might have done her own.
You think?
Yeah, she does the booty shake every time she goes. She proves she can dance.
I like when she says you could jump in Lake Michigan.
Yeah. And everyone's like, oh, like it's a cipher.
Oh, damn.
You know what, guys? Objectively, this is the first psychopathic cipher.
I feel like this is a totally fine song.
Yeah, it's fun.
I'm alright with it.
It's basically the opposite of something I accidentally watched last night that made me die. Like I literally died, and then my body went out of my soul went out of my body, and I was dead. Because during the credit, we turned off something that we were actually watching, and we were fucking around on our phones before going to bed, and The Bachelor happened to be on the television. And during the end credits of The Bachelor, which this week there was the hometowns where this dumb virgin Colton Burpo has to go meet his ladies' family. During the end credits, they're all sitting around this big white table, and this lady's big white family is like, "Oh, has she rapped for you yet?" And he's like, "Oh no," and she's like, and they're like, "Oh, she's always rapping. She always loves to rap." And I was like, at that point, like as soon as they said, "Has she rapped for you yet?" and the credits were rolling, yep.
No,
as soon as they said, "Has she rapped for you yet?" I started screaming, and it just got worse from there. because she stands up holding a glass of wine, and she says, "Give me a beat," and her 60-year-old father starts beatboxing very poorly, and everyone, all the Aunt Marcia or whatever, all these old ladies and men are all swaying back and forth and grinning ear to ear because they love what's being laid down right now, and they just know that funky flow is about to burst forth. And she raps, and my chest exploded, and my heart and soul ran away, and that's how I died.
Across the floor, through the window, out the door.
Like pretty genuinely the worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life. So this is way better than that, is my point.
I think there's at least one line in every verse that I truly do think is...
I truly am a Juggle Lotus. Yeah.
Yeah. I love when Jay's mom says that she used to send Violent J to his room, and he goes, "What?"
Very good.
And then Jump Steady gets on. He's like, "Samantha's my daughter. My mom is my mom."
Nancy is my wife. She is the mom.
That's also good.
And then Violet J doesn't want to be forgotten. Violet J needs a shout out in a song about his family.
Samantha's verse is great. Starts great, finishes great. Nancy seems like she's taking it real seriously, which I respect. Mm-hmm. Chris, she finishes strong, like she says she's shy, but then she's gonna punch you in the face, maybe, or I don't know, sting your eye.
Sting your eye.
The chorus is the only part that drags a little bit for me.
Yeah.
But
this goes back to what we were talking about last week, where they're embracing that they're old school, because they are old school.
Mom's name is Mom, even though he told us her fucking name on the Mom song.
My name is Mom, and I'm on the mic, kicking that style that I know you'll like.
Lovely. Her
money stacks up over miles. That's an inefficient way to store your money.
Right.
My only note for this song was, I wonder, I thought it was funny that after they had a song where they're like, "Take me back to my empty refrigerator," I was like, I wonder how much of these family members would really want them to be poor again and having no food.
Damn.
Well, I guarantee one day this song will bring you tears.
Damn.
I seriously doubt that, buddy.
Damn.
You're just not there, Steve.
Damn.
Yeah, my chair is not faced towards Jesus. Is that why I'm not a Christian?
Can't have my couch.
If I could just face my chair towards Jesus, I would understand.
I think what he's talking about is the Hocus Pocus music video, because I watched that shit tonight, and they look like some young fellas in that video. Boy, do they look young. Because they're very old now. I don't know if you've seen their faces.
I haven't seen it.
I don't even know what we're talking about.
Perfect. All right. Well, is that going to do it for us this week, guys?
I think that's all I got.
Well, thanks to everybody for listening. We love you. We appreciate you and all you do. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Dim Carnival. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. And email us at dimcarnival@gmail.com. I got called out in an email, and I love it. And we'll talk about that next week. So next week, so last week we had talked about all of the various things that we've missed and that we still have to hit coming up for before we get to the Pendulum and then the Wraith. So what we've decided is that next week we are going to talk about Psychopathic Writer's second album, Ridin' Dirty, and produced by Stefan Urkel. And so if you want to listen to that, go for it. We'll almost certainly get that all busted out in one episode. And then after that, if you want to start on your next listenings, listen to Blaze's debut full length One Less G in the Hood, not his EP, the full length, and then Twisted's Mirror Mirror. And then we'll be back on our bullshit. So we will see you next week with Ridin' Dirty. And until then, I'm Bill.
I'm Steve.
And I'm Ryan.
I just wish I had no food in my refrigerator.
Well, that can be arranged.